Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. As a quick reminder, please sign up at restrictedrepublic.com, my brand new platform that I kicked off with Justice Night. It is there that I share content like this video right here, which I cannot share on YouTube, but I've got tons of other videos I want to encourage you to check out there at restrictedrepublic.com. Subscribe today and use the code TRUTH to get $1 off the monthly service. All right, so I've got so much to talk to you about today, specifically in regards to earthquakes and volcanic activity, and how the USGS, as well as scientists across the board, are telling you that it is coming and we can't stop it. Basically, something is going to arrive in our near future, some kind of disaster, and you need to be prepared for it. So what I'm going to do is show you the most recent activity, some of which show an intensified amount of, shaking and rattling and rolling earthquake activity there in California, as well as some of the things that's happening with these volcanoes, and it's on, you guys need to hear it. So let's just dive right into the information here. All right, so let's start here with a simple question. How many earthquakes does California have on average a year? Now, here is the statistic I found: about 10,000 earthquakes each year in Southern California. Now, that's where a majority of them are. Let's go on over to caltech.edu. Now, Caltech has been monitoring earthquakes for quite some time, but just this past week, you can see this is the recent earthquake in California and Nevada area, but since Monday, November 4th, 986 earthquakes just in this last week have happened there in California. What does that tell me? Well, if there is 10,000 a year, right, in earthquakes on average in California, divided by 12 for the months a year, that means 833 is the normal amount given on a monthly basis. And here we have literally exceeded the monthly amount in a week. So there's definitely an uptick in activity there in California, which is why I wanted to bring it to your attention. Now, this has happened before. There has been a swarm of 1,000 and then nothing came out of it. But sometimes something can come out of it. So this is why I'm just bringing it to your attention. Now, also the economic collapse blog, Michael Snyder, did a report on this. Hundreds of earthquakes rattled the U.S. as the level of seismic activity in North America continues to rise. Now, in that article, he references even more information here on earthquake.usgs.gov, where he actually shows, and I'm bringing this up so you can see it, but the last 7 days, all magnitude U.S. earthquake. Now, it takes a while to load because of the massive amount, but this is over 2,058. You can see right here in the upper left-hand side, earthquakes. This is more than average in a week. So that's why that's important. But if we focus more on 2.5, now we're at about under 300 here. And of course, 4.5 within the US, that'll obviously none thus far, but not that long ago, we had just a few. But either way, you can see that there's more rattling and rolling going on. Now, according to scientists and seismologists, I believe the one that they're most concerned about is the Cascadia subduction zone. And here's another article on the most important news. You have been warned. Experts tell us that a Cascadia subduction zone earthquake and tsunami will destroy everything west of Interstate 5. Now, I've done a few reports on this. You know, Cascadia has its own preparation site, or their own website, and I'll take you to that. Again, it's called Cascadia Prepared right here, but I've not seen any other earthquake area have this much devoted to it. So this is why I want to call attention, and I've done that before. But it's not just the Cascadia earthquake that they're worried about, because here's the thing. If that goes off, there's a possibility, and it's not 100% possibility, it's possible that it could set off some of the volcanoes around that area as well. And if not, we also need to keep an eye on the volcanic activity, because a lot of the times we think about only the earthquake and we ignore the volcanoes. We know Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980, killing 57 people. Well, let me show you what USGS put out not that long ago, and it's this, and it's basically showing what they believe is the biggest threat to America in regards to volcanoes. Because again, This is another natural disaster that we have to worry about in addition to your earthquakes. But this is it. This is the 2018 update to the U.S. Geological Survey National Volcanic Threat Assessment. Now, if you go scroll on over to page 16, I've just jumped ahead here. This is where they actually rank the volcanoes. It says threat ranking for United States volcanoes. Threat groups are colored very high. This is the red section here means it's a very high risk. The orange is just a high risk, and then moderate yellow goes down here. So the ranking goes lower based off the concern. These are the least concern. So let's hone in on the ones that they are most concerned about. And what you're going to notice is most of these are in Washington and Oregon and some of your northwest areas, so to speak. And that's in that same kind of area, if you will, as the Cascadia subduction zone. But we have the one in Hawaii. It's been up at the top for a while. And then we have Mount St. Helens, number 2, Mount Rainier, number 3. Then we have Shasta, number 5, Mount Hood, 6, Three Sisters, number 7. You can see Yellowstone is down here at number 21, and that's just a high risk because high is orange. But these are very high, meaning if you've made the top 18 here, then it's possible that these could go off at some time, which let me show you some of the information that I found because I started looking for news articles and whatnot to see what they're most worried about. Now, this first one here is on SeattlePI.com. Of all Cascade volcanoes, Mount Rainier is the most dangerous. And that was the one that I got the most information on. Here's another one here by creme.com. Experts worry about dangers of Mount Rainier eruption despite no signs of activity. Now, this references a National Geographic article titled, "This may be the most dangerous U.S. volcano." Let me show you that one. This is the National Geographic article here. And this may be the most dangerous U.S. volcano. Now, this was done in 2018. Some of these are older because a lot of the times they'll leave it in the past and then bring it up a little bit in the future. But the one that they reference specifically in this article is, again, Mount Rainier. So that's the one that I found that seemed to be of most concern, as well as, of course, Mount St. Helens, because we've already seen activity on that. But I also found information on Mount Hood. It says scientists are barely monitoring Mount Hood's volcanic activity. Report warns geologists are trying to place seismic monitoring stations on the mountain, but environmental groups are fighting back. That's a bit terrifying if you live in that area. If I lived in that area, I would want the equipment to monitor that volcano so we can get, people out of there as quick as we can. Moving on to Mount St. Helens, we know about this one. This is probably one of the ones that we focused on a lot, but Mount St. Helens volcano warning. Expert reveals devastating silent eruption fear. Now, this was published January 2019 on express.co.uk, but that's not the only one. Here's another article on the same express.co.uk titled Mount St. Helens warning. Scientists reveals molten rock rising 5 meters a day. And this again is in January, but it's kind of been silent since then. And then we have this final article that I want to show you. Despite the surge of earthquakes at Mount St. Helens, officials say there is no imminent threat. And this was in June of 2019. So what I discovered basically in that research is the volcanoes that they were most concerned about were those ones in the northwest region of the United States. Your Mount St. Helens, your Mount Rainier, your Mount Hood. The ones that didn't get as much attention was Three Sisters, as well as Mount Shasta, I believe, which were all a part of that top 18 threat of what they believe the most important threats for volcanic activities here in the United States of America. But sometimes we forget those. And that's why I really wanted to do this report, is a lot of the times they'll talk about it and then they'll sit quiet for a year, and then sometimes it'll come back up. Other times you will have no warning at all, and these things could just go off. But either way, I wanted to bring attention again to the Cascadia subduction zone, some of the earthquakes that are happening right now in California, and how the USGS has put out threat assessments on at least volcanoes across the globe. And I can guarantee that Cascadia subduction zone there, the fault line, is one of the top as far as earthquake is concerned. So anyhow, I wanted to get you the latest on all of that. I'd love to get your thoughts, comments, and concerns. What do you think is the most important? What do you think we need to pay attention to? Keep in mind, all of them are critical. We have the San Andreas. We had activity actually happening recently around the New Madrid. There was some rattling and rolling recently, something to be aware of. But I only cover some of the earthquake stuff when it seems more critical or something substantial is going on. And I believe that that is. But I also believe on the other side of it, some of these volcanoes are getting kind of the back seat, and I don't think we should forget about them. Anyhow, I love you guys. Please don't forget to check out my partner. Right now, noblegoldinvestments.com has an amazing Roth IRA. If you've not converted your 401k into something backed by gold and silver, please do so, especially gold. If you can get that IRA backed by gold, then you're sitting good, especially in the event of some kind of economic devastation. So give them a call today at the number listed below, or go to noblegoldinvestments.com. Let them know you heard it on Lisa Haven. All right. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.